The Philippines is quietly shaping a bold new chapter in its history, and Subic Bay is once again at the center of attention. This deep-water harbor, once the pride of American naval dominance in Asia, is now rumored to be the site of the Philippines' largest naval base project. What makes this development so striking is not just its scale but its secrecy. Officials rarely acknowledge the details, leaving analysts and citizens to speculate about its true purpose. Subic Bay is not a random choice. It is a site that history has proven vital for controlling maritime routes. Its position near the South China Sea makes it a natural fortress, and in today's climate of escalating disputes, the timing could not be more critical. The question many are asking is, why is the Philippines building in silence? Some argue it is to avoid drawing unwanted attention from powerful neighbors. Others believe it is part of a larger regional strategy, coordinated with allies behind closed doors. Whatever the case, the quiet construction signals a powerful intent. This is not just about infrastructure. It is about sovereignty, deterrence, and long-term survival. With the South China Sea at the heart of global trade, the stakes are enormous. Subic Bay is not merely a port. It is one of the world's most naturally secure harbors. Its deep waters can host massive aircraft carriers, submarines, and logistics ships without artificial dredging. This natural depth has always made it strategically unmatched, which is why the United States invested heavily in it during the Cold War. After the Americans left in 1992, the Philippines largely transformed Subic into a commercial free port. However, the site never lost its military potential. In recent years, as China has aggressively built military outposts on artificial islands, Manila has been forced to rethink its security posture. Subic Bay, therefore, has re-emerged as the crown jewel of Philippine defense. By secretly turning it into a massive naval base, the government ensures readiness while minimizing public or foreign backlash. Such silence buys valuable time to complete essential upgrades without constant international scrutiny. For a nation long criticized for weak maritime defense, this project is transformative. Subic could soon serve as the launchpad for joint patrols, surveillance missions, and rapid deployment into contested waters. It represents not just geography but a strategic lifeline. The secrecy surrounding Subic's redevelopment has puzzled many. Why would a democratic government hide such a large-scale military project from its own citizens? The answer lies partly in geopolitics and partly in domestic politics. On the international stage, Manila knows that openly announcing a major naval buildup could provoke Beijing. China sees every new military base in the region as a challenge to its dominance in the South China Sea. A quiet approach delays confrontation while allowing construction to progress. Domestically, the government avoids backlash from citizens concerned about spending billions on defense while poverty and infrastructure problems remain unresolved. By working silently, leaders can unveil results later, justifying costs as a matter of national security. Silence also limits sabotage, leaks, or premature diplomatic pressure. This approach is not new. Many countries have quietly built bases before revealing them once nearly complete. For the Philippines, it is a way to modernize without igniting controversy. Secrecy, therefore, is not weakness, it is strategy. At the heart of this project is the South China Sea dispute. The Philippines is one of several nations contesting China's sweeping claims over these waters. Despite winning a 2016 international tribunal ruling, Manila has faced continuous encroachment by Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels. This has put pressure on the Philippine Navy, which has long struggled with outdated equipment. A modern base in Subic would drastically change this equation. It would allow warships and patrol vessels to deploy quickly to the West Philippine Sea, strengthening sovereignty enforcement. It would also improve surveillance capabilities, letting Manila track illegal fishing, smuggling, and foreign incursions more effectively. For decades, the Philippines lacked a strong naval headquarters near contested areas. Subic solves that gap by offering infrastructure ready for immediate military use. The secrecy here also makes sense. Why announce to rivals that a deterrent is being prepared? By the time it is revealed, it may already be too late for opponents to counter. In this sense, Subic represents both defense and psychological advantage. Beyond military value, Subic Bay also holds immense economic importance. The region already thrives as a free port zone, hosting shipping, logistics, and manufacturing industries. Developing it as a dual-use facility means that investments in defense infrastructure can also benefit civilian industries. Ship repair yards, for example, serve both warships and commercial cargo vessels. Expanded runways can host military aircraft while boosting air cargo operations. For the Philippines, which faces tight budgets, this dual-purpose model is practical and sustainable. It ensures that money spent on defense also generates jobs, trade, and revenue. The secrecy again plays a role. By framing the project as economic first, military second, leaders avoid scaring off investors. Once the base is complete, the balance will naturally shift toward defense. In the long run, Subic could become a hub where commerce and security reinforce each other. This blending of economic and military strength is a strategy that powerful nations have long used to justify naval expansion. Another critical dimension is the renewed partnership with the United States. Though the U.S. Navy left in 1992, Washington and Manila remain close allies under a mutual defense treaty. In recent years, American forces have gained rotational access to Philippine bases through the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA. Subic Bay, with its unmatched facilities, is the perfect site for expanding this cooperation. By keeping the project low profile, Manila avoids public criticism that it is selling out to foreign powers. Yet in practice, American contractors, advisors, and naval officers are likely already involved behind the scenes. This collaboration benefits both sides. The Philippines gains expertise and resources, while the U.S. regains a vital foothold near contested waters. Subic could soon serve as a staging ground for joint drills, humanitarian missions, and rapid response operations. By building quietly, the Philippines ensures flexibility without committing to formal declarations. This allows it to walk the fine line between reliance on allies and preserving national control. Regional reactions to Subic's redevelopment are equally important. Japan, Australia, and India have all increased naval cooperation with the Philippines. For these nations, a strong base at Subic is a welcome addition to regional security architecture. Vietnam and Malaysia, also locked in disputes with China, may view it as balancing Beijing's growing might. At the same time, Manila must carefully reassure neighbors that the project is defensive, not aggressive. The Philippines has long positioned itself as a peace-seeking nation rather than a regional aggressor. Framing Subic as a tool for sovereignty protection helps maintain that image. However, China is unlikely to remain silent. Already, Beijing has criticized increased U.S.-Philippine cooperation, and a massive naval base in Subic would certainly draw further protests. Still, for Manila, silence buys time to prepare before diplomatic storms arrive. Regional allies may eventually use Subic for joint patrols, making it a symbol of collective resistance against coercion. From a technological perspective, the new Subic base could revolutionize the Philippine Navy. Plans likely include advanced radar systems, missile defense platforms, and expanded runways for naval aviation. Ship repair facilities could allow submarines and frigates to undergo maintenance without leaving the country. Such upgrades would transform the Philippines from a largely coastal defense force into a more capable regional navy. Beyond warfare, Subic could also serve as a hub for disaster relief operations. The Philippines, struck often by typhoons and earthquakes, needs bases that can deploy aid quickly. A modernized Subic would enhance both military readiness and humanitarian capacity. This dual narrative, defense and disaster response, helps justify the massive investment. It also reassures citizens that the base is not just about war but also about saving lives. Quiet construction allows these capabilities to be built steadily, shielding the process from political debates. Once revealed, the base could redefine how the world sees the Philippine Navy. Domestic politics also explain the project's secrecy. Large defense expenditures are often unpopular in a country struggling with poverty and infrastructure challenges. Announcing billions for a new base could provoke criticism from lawmakers and citizens. By quietly moving forward, the government avoids public disputes and ensures steady progress. Once the base is nearly complete, leaders can present it as an accomplished fact rather than a debated proposal. At that point, its benefits, jobs created, infrastructure upgraded, and security enhanced, will be more visible. Citizens are more likely to support what they can already see rather than what is only promised. Politically, secrecy shields the administration from accusations of prioritizing war over welfare. It also prevents endless debates that could stall or cancel the project. This strategy is pragmatic, if not fully transparent. In the end, results will matter more than process. For leaders, the goal is simple: deliver a powerful symbol of sovereignty without getting trapped in endless arguments. Timing is also key. The world is shifting toward great power competition, with the Indo-Pacific at its center. China seeks dominance, while the US and allies work to maintain balance. The Philippines finds itself caught in the middle, but also sees opportunity. By strengthening Subic Bay, Manila increases its value as a partner while reducing its vulnerability to pressure. This timing aligns with global efforts to counterbalance Beijing, making support for the Philippines more likely. Subic could soon become a critical node in the wider Indo-Pacific strategy, connecting US, Japanese, and Australian forces. Manila gains leverage by positioning itself as indispensable to collective security. The secrecy ensures that this alignment matures quietly, avoiding premature escalation. When revealed, Subic will not stand alone but as part of a network of allied bases. This gives the Philippines bargaining power in trade, aid, and diplomacy. The base is, therefore, not just a military tool but a diplomatic card in global negotiations. Critics argue that secrecy risks mistrust among citizens and invites speculation. Yet history shows that nations often keep major defense projects hidden until they are operational. The Philippines, facing constant pressure in the South China Sea, cannot afford delays caused by open debate. By keeping Subic's redevelopment discreet, leaders ensure that construction continues without constant interruptions. Once complete, the base itself will silence critics by demonstrating real results. Citizens will see warships docked, aircraft patrolling, and jobs created in the region. These tangible outcomes will outweigh doubts about secrecy. Moreover, transparency can still follow later, once security is ensured. The Philippines is essentially buying time, ensuring preparedness before openly declaring its intentions. In today's volatile environment, such pragmatism may be the only way forward. Subic's quiet rebirth reflects a broader truth. Sometimes strength grows best in silence. In conclusion, the Philippines' secret construction of a massive naval base in Subic Bay is more than a military upgrade. It is a statement of intent. For too long, Manila has been seen as vulnerable in the South China Sea. By quietly building, it is preparing to defend sovereignty with renewed strength. The secrecy is deliberate, allowing progress without provoking rivals or inflaming domestic opposition. Subic is not only about ships and weapons. It is about national pride, economic resilience, and international credibility. Once complete, it will anchor the Philippines more firmly in the Indo-Pacific security network. Allies will welcome it as proof of Manila's commitment, while adversaries will see it as a warning. For Filipinos, it will serve as a reminder that their nation is no longer content to be a passive player. Subic Bay is rising again, this time under Philippine control, as both shield and sword. The world is watching, and the outcome could reshape the future balance of power in Asia.